phallic.
Yeah, that's a interesting.
Some German had a blast doing this design. It's das Frankenstück.
What's going on? 61 bug Beetle project underway. You know, we've gotten the floor pan already repaired and this front end was pulled off, the back end was pulled off. Now it's time to rebuild this front end. I think we showed it earlier. We've gotten it pulled off, something easy, 4 bolts. We He-manned it up into the vise here on the workbench because I didn't want to work on the ground.
Yeah.
And Daniel's over there. We got one side off. Watched all that grease.
Oh, yeah.
So we did take off the one side because I have no idea what I'm doing on this. Daniel, no idea. Like
I have no clue. I've never taken the front apart on a bug.
Yeah. So I took the whole day tearing it apart, but we have this whole other side to show you on what we need to do.
Just in as far as pulling it apart.
Yeah.
Like he was saying, Mike was saying that when you pull it apart, there's a lot of interesting things that like might be good just to point out, so we don't have to gloss over them in the rebuild of it. But the rebuild is coming.
Yes, and the reason we can't rebuild it, we went through all the parts. I thought I had some other ones, but we are ordering. We need to just order wheel bearings, which you really need. The little seals for the tubes here, and sway bar bushings. That's it. And so those are going to be on the way. But because we missed last week, we're going to try to get this video out this week for you of just tearing down, essentially I think these are kingpin suspension. We have new kingpins for everything. But we're going to do a full tear down on this side. Kind of go semi-in-depth, but not in-depth on tearing it down, seeing how
and also just like how it all works.
Yeah, because this is just different from any other front end.
Yeah, we realized we had a lot of followers or subs that like don't necessarily have VWs. They just like seeing stuff. So we kind of want to go through and just kind of show you, to the best of our knowledge, how these front end works and what kind of make them cool and special. So yeah,
we're gonna get into it.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, we also have. So to start tearing this down, I have some footage of when I tore it apart the other day, the other side, and there were some surprises. So we will share those and then see if it's the same thing on this one as I found on that one.
I don't even know what those surprises
are. So but
we'll be in it together.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna start with getting the drums off and then moving from there,
bit by bit.
So first is gonna be knocking off the old whatever grease cap, and if it's on the driver's side, you have a little square hole. That's where the speedo goes. But so make sure we put it back together. Yeah,
we took the speedo off, right?
Yeah, we took it off.
Yeah,
when we took the bug out, and there we go. So that pops off.
Rocket science.
Yep, and just a big old 2 nuts. So the other one, if I remember right, did not have the safety little washer. So that was one thing I don't think it had, which is scary.
Yeah. I mean, it's just your front wheel.
Yeah, that's not going to stay on. So we're going to bend that and then undo those nuts somehow.
There it goes.
They're not really all that tight, which they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't, right? Because then you're tightening the bearings so much that...
Yeah. Oh, they are reverse threaded. I'm glad you found. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So the other side definitely was not.
So this is driver's side, in case anyone missed that. So
good call.
Allegedly, unless there's something special with this one,
it's
reverse thread.
Good to know.
So don't strip your bolts and do weird things. And
I'm gonna put gloves on because this old grease is nasty.
It's
and the other day I went inside and I found it all over the side of my wall.
Because, that's fun. All right.
Oh no, these are reversed. I just started tightening them. Yeah. Cool. So it's double nutted, and
that's what she said.
That's it. Okay. There we go. We got the nuts off. We're going to just set those up there. And then there should just... There is a washer that has the key. So that comes off. There we go. And then there's our bearings. And then we just start hitting it. The other side just fell off. And you know why it fell off? Because we'll cut to that. So here's a new one for me. I'm doing the first side here before we do that side. That way I can tell you how I did it. But if the other side's like this, I'm glad we didn't drive it. That I'm pretty positive you could see the angle of this bearing, where that washer is. This bearing was sitting in backwards. Unless I'm wrong and they're supposed to be tapered like that the other way, but every bearing I've ever messed with does not go in like that. So I am glad we didn't just trust this front end, because I'm pretty positive that was in backwards. I could see weird grooving in the bearing, because if I flip it around, flip it around, it seems to fit in there a whole heck of a lot better. So yeah, that bearing was in the drum backwards, because I just pulled this out. That is crazy. And I've never seen that before. The bearing was on backwards on the other side.
Yeah.
And so it came right off because the
It
tapered...
wasn't on technically correctly.
The tapered bearing that should be facing in was not facing the right direction. It's almost there.
Uh-oh. Look out. He's getting the negotiator out. He's getting Mr. Leverage.
There it goes. Usually this inner bearing will come out. So the fact that it didn't, I don't know why. But it's in there unless they put this one in backwards.
Did they? I can't see it.
I can't tell.
It's hard to tell unless
It's
it's out.
super stuck in there, which I've never had an experience with it being that stuck.
For you eagle eyes out there, is that put in backwards?
So this is just the ball bearing, which I looked up. This is standard, like, original bearings. Because now they went with a tapered bearing, which is so much better. You had two tapers, so they make a sandwich.
Yeah.
Volkswagen did just these ball bearings like this. So these have not been probably changed out in who knows how long. And then also come to find out the other side was the same. These brakes are like brand new.
Oh, okay.
If you look at them, they still have the markings on there.
Yeah.
And like these cylinders are still somewhat shiny. So somebody did some brakes on it, and that's it.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Germany put the bearings wrong on that other side. That's someone rushing the job, or it doesn't matter, or whatever.
Yeah, they definitely dropped the ball and put the bearing in backwards on the other side. Maybe on this side, and that's why that one's stuck in there. But as I said before, we were getting new bearings. We have new drums.
Yeah.
We have all new...
We have new
brake hardware. We have drop spindles. We have...
stuff.
Everything, but basically...
Everything in there.
Everything but this back plate is getting replaced.
Yeah. Watch, that's the only thing that needs to be replaced for some reason. Oh, there he goes.
Right. And these just come out. This is super easy. So yeah, those pads are brand new. Which, I mean, the only issue... I have new pads. If you were to reuse these, is if it's been sitting a while, the glue, whatever's used to glue this to the pad, is breaking down. So if you do use it, this will just break off. Break off. By looks, it's ready to go. Like, these are new. Yeah. Might just hang on to them for like a weird situation, but
or someone
just needs
free pair,
someone wants a free pair. Like, these aren't brand new, but they're not used by any means.
Yeah, you're not gonna have to redo them.
Yeah, because they didn't even look like they have slight wear on them. Adjusters
comes out.
put them back together. A lot of this, we also have new hardware for mostly everything else. So now I'm going to pull off our brake cylinder, push our little, whatever this is called. I mean, the bleeder isn't even that tight in there. Pull that out. We got new lines, so I'm just going to take it out.
Although I'll be honest, those lines, we said it in a previous video, they're not bad. Like,
no, and that's
you could run those if we didn't have
they
them.
They still are super pliable.
Yeah, there's no major cracks in them or even that. I mean, they're crusty, obviously, but you can feel the little ridges are still in there.
I mean, it's one of those, like, if you're going budget, and this isn't a sports car, I would just run with these again. Like, there's a lot of stuff I think we would just leave. I think, honestly, I would replace the bearings, and then that's it. Put it all back together. But we are going to go all out. We got to transfer this over to the new spindles. So then we just pop off the back plate, which it comes right off. I feel like the other one didn't come off that easy. So this we are saving because that's going to go, we don't need those, but that's going to go on the new spindles. So that will get cleaned up. Now we're on to kind of what's different with Bugs than all their vehicles is this link pin system that I've only now just experienced with the other side, and that's it. So if I remember, I'm going to start by taking off this. Now I'm just going to smack this with a hammer because we have new one of this. So I ordered a new one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I think we got it. Well, I guess technically you don't even you can just take that out, but because we're replacing it all, but I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways. So don't do that if you're trying to save your stuff.
So we just showed you what not to do.
Yeah. But I don't need to save it. But yeah, don't do that if you're trying to reuse your stuff. Because then you mushroom the nut and then, all right, it's coming off. But that comes out. That, we'll take it out of there too eventually. But we're focused on this. So now, we're going to loosen these up. Yeah. And these are kind of like a clamp that are just clamping on these pins here that hold your suspension on. I got lucky with this one. I had to usually hold the top, but this one stayed still.
Really? Yeah, some of those might take double.
Yeah, that one came off though. They're coming. And then I'm pretty sure you want to pull them all the way out and not just try to knock these out with these in there. There we go. So now we got those out. That's all that holds it on them. Like, that's it. So then we're going to pull out these pins, and they have spacers. They're shimmed. So I've just been keeping all the shims together, and I believe that's for that'll do the camber, those casters.
Oh, yeah.
Because depending on how many there is and stuff, you will put in there, and it'll move this way or this way.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty positive those are like your camber adjustments. So I'm just trying to keep the number of them in the same everything.
That was that fell.
Cool.
Yeah.
So put those there.
The nice thing about videoing too, we can
check
refer back if we need to.
Yes. Also, because this is cool how these work, I found. So it has this groove. So when you turn that also pulls in and out and adjusts.
Yeah, it's like angled. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
But it's like.
It's a cam.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to replace too, because these, I guess, would be. I mean, I can imagine this gets worn out fairly easily. But so there's the first one.
These are the kingpins, yeah.
Is it?
I don't know.
Whenever someone says kingpin, it's just this whole thing.
Oh.
I don't know what part is actually the king. There you go.
Oh, that's actually pretty heavy. It's
Yeah,
definitely
pretty
stout.
Stout. But there you go. That's what these bolts go through here, and then they sit there.
Yeah.
So then when you turn this, it pulls it in and out. And that's it.
That's cool.
Also, these have coming out super easy than the other side because I've soaked everything with PB Blaster for a couple days. And it's crazy if you actually let PB Blaster soak. It works really well. And then I don't know, this stuff just goes there. We're putting it together. But I guess we really don't care because we have all new of basically all of this. So now, that's it. The only part we're keeping from this whole thing is this part because we have a new drop spindle. And so we just got to get the pin that goes in here out. And to do that, we have to press out these first. And then once we press those out, the pin drops through one way or another.
What are you pressing out?
So these right here need to come out. This is a bushing.
Oh, it's a bushing. Okay.
And the pin is locked in there with those.
Yeah, I see.
And if I remember, that's all we need to do. So we'll go over to the press. So I had stuck this socket because it fit really nicely in there. But you don't want to push the outside. We're trying to aim for this little circle on the inside. That's what we're trying to push out. Not the whole thing.
Info. Yeah.
I tried for a long time and it didn't come out. So we're gonna get this set up and then we'll show you popping it out.
Yep.
All right, so I forgot, coincidentally, that a Harbor Freight 12-ton press, the shaft, is the same size as the bushing. So we just have to line everything up and then there it goes. And I
already go?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow, that was...
So, I don't know, it's just coincidentally and lucky that this is the exact size. So, that's kind of cool. You don't have to worry about stacking anything, like trying to put the socket and hold everything, balancing it. So, that just comes out. We could smack it out the rest of the way. Like, then you can take your... Oh, that barely fits too. There it goes. Put that in there. And it should just give it a good whack, and it should. There you go. So there you go. Pops out our bushing. It's super worn out. That's why we had so much play initially. That being not a circle anymore.
Yeah.
So there's that first one. We're gonna get out the next one. Same process. I just have a bigger socket right there.
That's it.
That's it. So next. And like I said again, you can hit it with a hammer. Seen lots of people do it with the pin that goes through here. But that's what's coming out next. So now we have our next setup. I had to lower the press a little. I've got like a 12, 13 millimeter socket in there. And we're going to start pushing that down. And since there is space, like we don't need to have a hole at the bottom.
Here.
Yes, there you go. We can just start kind of... Oh, this is coming out a lot. No, it's not. I was going to say a lot easier than the other one. There it goes. It just barely fit when I had it set up like that. Yeah.
I'm going to stand behind Mike.
There it goes.
God, that scared me.
I think. Yeah.
Or the 3/8 just broke. No, it's good. You can kind of see that it's going down the bottom there.
Okay, and now comes a part of... There it goes. Yeah. So it just needs a lot of force. So if you're hitting it with a hammer,
good luck.
it's gonna take a lot of hits. This is, well, at least mine. This one is super stuck.
Yeah.
Cool. So now it's gonna be the process. We're gonna adjust these so I can
continue to push it out.
Yeah. Basically giving it an opening, getting another 3/8 extension, and kind of just repeating this process until it all comes out. That should do it. All right. Let's just do it. Ready? About.
Here it goes.
Okay. There's the other pin out. And these things are covered in really thick grease. But now we have this out, so this will... Let's...
In theory, well...
You should just be able to... Tap it off. There it goes. And then there's a washer thingy. It goes in the little grooves there. That I don't know what it does, but this is all we need.
Keeps the dirt out of it.
Yeah. But like I said, there's the other grease dirt. So we're gonna have to tap that and fix it. That's not a big deal, but this is what we need because we do have those lowering spindles. Yeah. So we don't need any of this. Okay. So yeah, we got the piece we needed off. Set that aside. That's all we're keeping for the most part, I believe. And then we have all new this, except for these bolts. So there you go. We pulled that off. We're still not done though, because we're going to pull off the arms. At first, I think I'd mentioned it before, these sway bar things, I thought they were like crimped on there. Completely wrong. It's pretty cool how they're held on. And so we're going to have to adjust this to pop them off, but I'll show you. I'd sprayed it with lube for a while. But this, which I thought was a crimp that just like band and then you crimped it, this actually slides on and off. So if you take something like a chisel or a punch and hold it just on the ends here, it'll start to slide up eventually.
Allegedly.
It's a pain in the butt. So that goes there, which is super cool. And then this just comes one of the sway bar brackets. So there you go. So yeah, that's it. Wherever that piece went. Oh,
I saw it. It's under
the toolbox.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I've obviously never seen this before because I didn't know what it was at first. So yeah, there's this little piece here. This goes there. And then this is just tapered. So then you just start hammering it down. And it closes it in. So it's actually really cool. Super simple. You don't need really any tools.
To like press out a bushing or do something weird. Yeah,
you just have to knock that off. And that's it. And then the sway bar comes off. So yeah, we're going to get the new bushings. That's the other thing we had to order. These sway bar bushings. So we're going to go with the easy, just bolt-on ones with the clamps from MP. But we're going to reuse the sway bar. Like this isn't a...
it's not bad at all.
Yeah. And also this isn't a crazy build. We're wanting just a nice Beetle. We're not needing performance.
Yeah.
So now after that is going to move on to what is referred to the grub screws in here. These are what hold on the whole suspension. And I've noticed sometimes these things don't come out as easy. So definitely pre-soaking them beforehand is a good idea. And we have that just caked on crap that is so thick and like not normal grease. It's grease mixed with hammer.
It's like 60 years or so.
Nice. So yeah, those loosen up. And we're going to get an Allen wrench, which is that big one. Possibly. Yep. that one. Pop this one. Save these. So yeah, these come out, and that's what goes into over here. I'll show you. So what I've learned is this is your suspension, your springs essentially in a bug. These little plates, whatever these are. And then this, there's a groove in here, and those just clamp into there. And they hold that all in. And that's what keeps those from falling off.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. So once that's out, you just slide out your arms. And there we go. So there's our spring. There's this. We're ordering a new one of those. And
is that a dust boot?
Yeah, basically a grease boot. There is a bearing inside here that looks pretty good. We'll have a look at it closely if we need to order a new one, but I know that's a pain to get those out. So there wasn't any play in that, like up and down, so I'm not that concerned.
Yeah.
But pull this one off. This one might need some persuasion because there is tension still on them, so don't just... You can see there was still some tension on that, like it's pushing into there. But if your suspension's completely off like this, there's really no more spring tension in there to like swing and hit you. Just this one is stuck on there.
Oh yeah.
So it's just so it's just pushing up against it. That's a little bit of a pain, so you do want to hit it. And then
just be mindful.
Yeah, and then I'll pull that out. Definitely going to be putting a lot more new grease in here just to make sure everything is golden. But now if we want to pull these out, all we have to do is take off this top grub screw. Basically what I want to do is make sure these don't come apart. So I'm just going to zip tie them or safety wire just so when we pull them out, they don't just fall or fall later on. I'm just going to loop these together. Just so I know which order they're in. That's really it. It's not like going to spring out at me or be anything crazy, but... And I've seen there's techniques when putting these back in of doing this, and then when you slide it in, it just stays in there forever, which is fine.
The
safety
wire?
Yeah, or the zip ties. Basically, you want to keep these bundled together because they got to go through there. So you just do this, and then when you're sliding it in, this just gets pushed down the line. Not going to hurt anything sitting in there.
No.
But we want to pull all these out so we can make sure, as you can see, plenty of grease, but that's it. Yeah, basically it's like that way these stay together. So when you push it in, this just slides down. All the same order. Yep. But we'll show you.
That's cool too. You got the little.
That's the grub screw in the middle.
Screw that holds them.
That one holds.
Also, why you'd want to keep them together because that's obviously.
Yeah, there's a pretty obvious how to do it. And what I've read too is if you want to lower your bug for free, just take a couple of these out.
Oh.
That's all you have to do.
But then how would the grub screws sit in there
correctly? I don't know.
Then now you just made the hole smaller.
I would say you could take out these two side ones. Oh. Or you can... Oh, yeah. There's another way of doing it. My uncle told me. He's like, go do that. And I was like, oh. I don't know what that means until I've gotten this far. But now that I have tons of old gross grease all over the place, that's basically a front suspension of a
I think this is super Volkswagen. Interesting, even for...
And that's the whole thing, this is every component, your steering, your springs, your cam, everything.
Your arms, cams,
right there, where,
sway bar.
Other cars and stuff, they have, you have other components, but this is all, that's just more grease on So I just think it's kind of cool. You can pull this off, and to rebuild it, this is everything. There's not another piece of suspension under the car or something that you need to do. That's it. And then, like, obviously this just comes off. These things are...
What are those? Bump stops?
This is the bump stop.
Oh, okay. Do we have different bump stops?
I'm going to get new ones. The other one was just ripped. Like, this is as hard as a rock.
That's a little phallic.
Yeah, that's a interesting...
Some German had a blast doing this design. It's das Frankenstück.
It's to hold the... There's...
Lots of dirt.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what... That's an interesting concept, but yeah, that just goes there. But that just comes right off.
It's actually not in terrible shape either. It's a little hard.
Yeah, it's rock hard.
Is it rock hard?
Yeah, it's...
No reason that one.
No. Nope, the other one's completely broken. But yeah, it has the grease zerks up there. But yeah, we're going to just kind of clean out some of that grease when we go to put it back together, which they will be coming up soon once we get all these in for sure, because, well, as you can tell, that would be the very first thing we put on before we put those on. But now that we're at this point, we'll get the steering box off. I'm going to I think I have the new gaskets for it. I'm going to triple check, but all I'm going to do is just reseal it. The box feels really good. Yeah. It doesn't feel loose, like, doesn't need to be rebuilt. We're going to pull it apart. I'm going to put new grease in it, put the new gasket on there, because I did open this up. It looked all fine inside. We'll adjust it, and then we're going to put it right back on, and we're going to just leave the pitman arm, whatever, for it on there, because that way we know that's where it goes. Because if you pull it off, I had that issue with the BMW, and that sucked figuring that out. It took a while, and don't want to do it again. So that's just going to be pulled off later. And then we're going to get this whole thing cleaned up, and then just throw a coat of chassis paint on it, because it is really clean, super nice. Doesn't need to be fully refurbished, I don't think, in any means. Yeah. We'll definitely come in here and clean out whatever this is.
We're going to deep clean it and get it looking right and all that, but it doesn't need, I think, much more than like a healthy cleanup. And honestly, like, they didn't powder coat it back in the day, so why would
they? They painted it, yeah.
Yeah.
I did find out, and I think I mentioned it, I thought this was bent, because it is bent there. But just like our shifter rod, thanks for some people that had actually commented.
Oh, yeah, that was huge help.
It's supposed to be like that, which now looking at it is a pretty perfect bend, and looking online. So those people that told me that that's what it's supposed to be, thank you, because I was about to order one and probably would have been thoroughly disappointed with another one that's bent. So that's fine. This thing's in good condition. And I'm pretty sure I did order a whole new arm. And the arm, when it came in, the ball joint itself is bent at this angle. So I think it's supposed to be, and someone will probably tell me it is. This is completely worn out anyway, so we're gonna replace it.
Worth it.
But if it looks like this, think it's fine. You can just do these. Yeah. But we got a whole new one. We do have a whole new one already. See there? So that's bent. Same angle as that. So I do believe that was supposed to be like that. Yeah. But, I ordered some new ones because it needs it anyways.
Are those more adjustable, or are those adjustable ones? Or is it just, am I looking at it weird?
These look like you should be able to twist them. But I don't know. Yeah. It is interesting, like you just said. I don't know. These obviously are, like, you turn them in and out. But, so we got some new ones. Yeah. Same with the other side. We have new steering. But that's just whatever. And we're not going to bore you with just sanding and painting and stuff, because I think you've seen enough with the BMW. We'll show some clips. Yeah. And we still have the pan to do, because that is the full process. It's going to be ground down. But that would be basically the whole front end is tore apart. Kind of like what I did is just have it in this vise, and was able to work the whole thing at my level, which was nice. Wow, it still weighs a ton. Yeah. Thought it was going to be a lot lighter.
It's definitely
but we do have the steer, Yeah,
and the box is on and all that.
So there's this. I don't know any other things to inspect on it. So if you have any
Yeah.
Good tips on like what to look for on these, please leave a comment. I am going to just, once we sand it down, make sure there's no cracks in obvious places. But yeah, if you know of certain things on these that do need attention or that are common,
Yeah, that we're missing.
that we're missing, please leave a comment. I would like to know, because it goes for like the BMW. There's certain things that you want to fix that crack, like engine mounts and stuff like that, that are just kind of a knowledge thing. So if you know anything on these front ends, leave a comment on what we can do. But we got this tore down, so once the other parts come in, we'll get this put back together. We're going to start on the rear end in the next one, which is, I think, just pulling out.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not much, but we do have the transmission to go through. And by go through, I mean look at and then put it back in, because it worked. And we're going to replace some bearings and stuff. So that's a whole nother venture that I'm going to get to. Just I knew the front end would be interesting to dig into. So that's it. So if you're curious on doing front end, that's all it takes. Obviously, you had a press, but you can smack it with a big hammer and you'll get just the same outcome.
Just more time.
Yeah, you're going to spend a little more time and a lot more noise, and neighbors are going to hate you, but it'll all come out. There's no clips or nothing that hold those in that I thought there would be. It's just press them out and you're done. So that's going to do it. This is a quick one because we were busy these last 2 weeks. Be sure to check out our other channel, the Speed Shak Moto Department, because we're going to be putting out some. There's content coming out on there, and there already is stuff. That's going to wrap up this episode. So again, thanks for watching. And if you haven't, please like and subscribe. It helps us out. It's free for you and helps us out a ton. And that'll do it. So we'll see you next time, and it was cool to be here.